right, it's the CoCo Show. If David Strand's on the job, there's something in store. We speak facts, please don't ignore. But if you got beef, Buster, come on, bring me some more. There's nothing new up under the sun, so we expect when you inject there'll be problems. But let it sink in, get under your skin, so you can see it just a mile away from your win. How many days are you gonna go through before you see for yourself what's the truth? It's time to rise, open your eyes. The CoCo Show catching people by surprise like. What you say, David?
It's Jolly, baby.
Oh yeah, real style, black fit, go loud, one time, all out, no doubt. Now it's time to work it out.
It's the CoCo Show with your man David Strand.
Yo, it's KDS.
One, it's your girl Shanti.
Yo, how's it going? It's your main man, David Strand, here at the CoCo Show. As always, we got our people here. What's up, Shanti?
Welcome, good people.
DJ KDS, what's going on?
What they do?
Hey, we have some special guests here, but we're going to introduce everyone. For today, we have our special guest, Miss Mateel.
Hello.
Mr. Alex.
Hey.
And they are for our Mind, Body, and Spirit segment for today. But we're going to keep going around the room. Miss J, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
EB, how you doing?
Yo, how y'all?
Mr. Nike.
We made you.
Mr. Draymond.
What's happening, y'all?
All right. And
right.
Sir Edward.
You're
Hey.
And don't forget girl who jumps on tables.
Girl who jumps on
Tables in the cut.
Waving like the cameras right there. Welcome to the CoCo Show, man. This is about to be a whole nother thing that y'all haven't heard yet. But before we get started, let us thank you, Freedom K Radio.
Thank you, Freedom K. We appreciate y'all for all you do. We love you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for marketing, all that, man. You guys do a lot. We appreciate it.
Thank you, fam.
Yeah, and we can't forget about you, the fans, the listeners. How y'all doing? Thank you for listening.
Yes.
Thank you for liking, subscribing, hitting that button, even if you like it and you don't like it, but you still listen to it. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, it don't matter. You listen to it. And then you say, I don't want it, but you listen to it. But thank you. And we like to thank our sponsors.
Yes.
Nike, Co. Who know the other one? Who know
GameStop.
Somebody excited about
I know,
that.
right? Like,
Are you getting a cut of this money?
oh my God.
Power about being
Power to the
GameStop. Y'all use that promo code.
Oh my
Promo
goodness.
code 01. Discount to GameStop.
No.
No, we ain't doing that. No, we're not doing that. Let's go ahead and get some things aligned. What we got coming up? We got an interview with a rapper named Corey.
Corey, what's his artist name again? Killer Mike? Killer Suave? Killer
I'm just going to spell it Klazzi.
KLA.
I'm horrible with saying somebody's name. Say it again.
Did we go through this?
Klazzi.
K-L.
Okay, I'm
Klazzi.
sorry I ruined his name. Klazzi. That's his artist
need you
name.
guys to know
He will be on an interview
who this guy is.
this Saturday.
He's struggling.
I'm trying not to laugh.
This was a passed down interview. This was like,
Yeah, it was like, here, you do it. So
Aw,
it's okay. No, we got it. Because I talked to my
You
man.
don't need to know that.
I talked to my man, and we good. So I mean, I'm excited to talk to the guy. I'm very excited to talk with him.
What?
Yeah.
Very excited. So y'all get ready for this. Anyway, let's get this
Oh,
thing.
no.
Yeah.
You can't forget. It's one more thing.
Yeah.
I forgot something.
The Gerald Kelly Show.
I mean, I'm not the only one on the
Oh,
show.
I thought you had
Yeah.
that. I thought you had
I
that.
get-
April 8th, Greenville, South Carolina. Get ready. Gerald Kelly is coming back to town, yo.
Comedian?
Comedian, funny brother. Bringing a special guest. We got Delightful K. She's local, and we also have Byron Laos.
What
He's
up,
been
Byron?
opening up for like the 85 South show all around the South Carolina like area. So like, big ups to him. Brother's doing it, but he lives in Spartanburg, man. Funny guy, man.
Yeah,
So
he mad cool too.
this is gonna be a really good show. So make sure you get your tickets now at GreenvilleComedyZone.com.
That's what's up. And
That's
that's
what's up.
I think that's it for
That's what we
housekeeping.
got right now.
Housekeeping.
And that's okay. Sweat off the brow. Right. So listen, about to start this series, Mind, Body, and Spirit. I thought again, just gravitating from some of the conversations in the previous episodes that we've had, I felt like we were trending on something that just needed to be discussed. And a lot of things that we were talking about, I felt like really kind of affects the health of people. And I said, well, why don't we go deeper into it? And I felt like the deeper we got into it, it was like, oh, I don't know if we should, we should do it, or if we're ready for it. But I'm like, what are we waiting for? We all spoke, coming out of the last year that we wanted to better ourselves in so many ways and do different things. I feel like, the mind, the body, and soul, like those things also need to be realigned to what is, I consider a positive state, so that we can actually function in those new things that we're attempting to do. The growth that we are looking for in this podcast, or in your physical life, or your financial life. And in a lot of studies and videos I've been watching lately, like a lot of these things, affect your health and like your mental state and break you down to a point. And like people aren't aware of these things. So I feel like, why not have a series on this thing? Let's kind of bring some general knowledge to the people and allow them the opportunity to start correcting some of this. It's going to be a lot, and it's going to take time. But I feel like we all have our own responsibility to kind of check that in our lives, and let's just start that process. So I'm excited about this topic. I'm excited about what we're about to discuss and everything that's will come out. I thank you guys far in advance for being here and for what you have to share. I go back and listen to the episodes, not really just for critique measures, but also to kind of re-listen to what we said, to kind of take it all back in. So this is going to be powerful, and I'm excited. So let's get
without further ado, I just want to say thank you guys for coming on, because I met Mateel. I call you Dr. Mateel as a term of endearment, because she doctors on my mental and my spiritual, and I love that. But I met you through Women in Architecture event, and I was at a place in my life where I was looking for wisdom and guidance in certain areas of my life. I realized, there's some things I really need to work on for me if I want to be a better version of myself tomorrow. And it required me slowing down and listening and recognizing where wisdom might be coming from. And so when you came and you spoke at our event, I was like, some things, the room was a little bit brighter, and I said, if you leave here and you don't at least get her contact information, you don't have to do anything with it immediately. And I made sure that I reached out and I got your information. It was a little while before I called, because I was like, maybe I could just try to work it out on my own.
Yeah, we all do.
That's what we all do.
It's like, when you call somebody to have them come clean up your house, but you clean up the house before they come clean up the house. Like I felt like that's what I was trying to do. Let me get this in order, and let me get this in order before I call. And finally, I feel like I had just spun out. I was just like, man, let me just call. What is it gonna hurt? Right. And I had many cry sessions. There's many sessions where I just couldn't get together. Mateel was just like, okay, I'm gonna need you to breathe. Let's
get that in check.
I can't. So yeah, I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad to have you and your wonderful husband, because I feel like you take care of the mind and the spirit, and you take care of the body, but you're also married. So to me, in my mind, I'm like, man, how does that dynamic work for you guys? Because I feel like, do you train each other? Do you coach each other? Like, how does that dynamic work in your household?
We don't literally train each other. We don't literally coach each other, but I do think that God brought us together because we both needed what the other could
bring to the table.
Yeah, could bring to the table. So it is like in marriage, it's like a partnership, and it's definitely like that at home, and it's very natural and comfortable. And he helps me where I need help, and I help him where he needs help.
Absolutely.
But I think that what you said about me doing the inside and he doing the outside, it's that's where we focus.
Yeah.
And it's natural.
Yeah.
One doesn't work without the other.
Absolutely.
So realize we're in the transformation business, as we like to say.
Right.
With me being a personal trainer and trying to get people to a point where they are comfortable and healthy and fit. But that's a journey, and people need to understand that there are going to be some roadblocks, there are going to be some bumps, there are going to be some things you're going to have to endure.
Right.
There are some things you're going to have to undo, fight through, push through, because it's not a direct straight line. You know, we all like to say the quickest way from point A to point B is a straight line. This is not a straight line. A lot of ups and downs. I mean, Mateel herself can tell you what she went through in her transformation. I've encountered people in this journey of mine and helping people who have a lot of stuff they have to undo. They just really have, and they don't. Some of them are not even aware of this stuff, because when I go through my initial process and talking to people and trying to understand where they are before they start this journey, I identify a few things, and we have a back and forth, we have a banter, we have a question and answer, and people are sometimes not even aware of what's going on in their own home, because when we do these type of things and trying to help people transform, especially from a physical standpoint, the mental and the emotional
don't always meet up.
Don't always meet up, because I mean, let me tell you, when you have people who are trying to change and then you don't have a significant other who's on board, or you don't have a support system for these type of things you're trying to, it's not going to work. And nobody transforms alone. You have to be able to identify some things and ask for help, and just know that it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. It's like what I was saying earlier today. When we look at the internet and we see these people transform, they say they lost 100 pounds in X amount of time. We see the before, we see the after. We don't know what goes on during until you talk to that person and hear their story. And everybody got a story. Everybody got one. So that's how we kind of do it. I always had a passion for fitness. I didn't get serious till I was about 34. I never had access to a gym. I got a little serious. I didn't know what I was doing. Trying to transform myself. I wanted to be that person on the magazine cover and look like that guy.
My goal was Apollo Creed and the Rocky.
You know, and we all had those people. You know, you see them on the magazine, you see them on TV. You want to be that person, whether it be a he or she. And didn't know what I was doing, but I asked a lot of questions. And that was when I was still in New York. Moved to Charlotte, and then all of a sudden, for some reason, I met up with somebody and I joined the gym. Never joined the gym. I was all of 44 when I got 45 when I joined the gym, 46 maybe. And I just turned out to be that guy who just took it seriously. And then I started working out and I started to see change, but I didn't know a thing about the hardest part, which was the eating. I was blessed not to be overweight, but I wasn't seeing the changes that I wanted to see. So what I did was I hooked up with a guy through social media. He had a plan that included the nutrition and the workouts. Of course, we all just think it's the workouts. Let's just grab the workout, and if I do this, I work my chest, I work my back, I'm gonna get, after about 3 weeks and no change, I went back to him, I said, this is not working. What he said, did you get the nutrition part? I said, no. He said, you got to get the nutrition part. That is 80% of your journey. See, even with that, I was fortunate enough not only to have a lot of stuff, but when I'm training people, I identify people have a lot of baggage, and you have to identify what that baggage is. I mean, we spoke earlier. You even said, hey, challenges with family, challenges with whatever those things are. We got to identify those things and see if we can fight through them, work around them. But you got to be able to identify those things and say, hey, we got to work through these things, and what's the path we're going to take to get to this goal of yours. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to be easy.
It wasn't easy.
All right.
It's still not easy. Still going through another level.
And you haven't reached your goal yet.
No.
The journey continues.
Yes.
People have to understand this is a journey. This is not a sprint. This is not the 100-yard dash that you see in the Olympics. After 5 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever it is, it's over. This is ongoing. And even when you reach your goals, there's a maintenance part.
Yes, you gotta maintain.
There's a maintenance part that people have to understand. All right, so when people come to me and say, well, what do I take here? Or what pill can I take this pill? Can I just eat this? Can I just do that? No. There's no straight line. There's no magic wand or magic dust. If there was, I'd bottle it, patent it, and hustle it, make a lot of money, and share it with all of us. Well, but us, sometimes we got to get out of our own way and say we need help.
Yeah.
I need help,
Yeah.
and this is what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
All right, and then we can map out a plan
Right.
as to how to get to the goal. But
Exactly.
I think when I was in my process of losing weight, when I hit 330, I was happy because I was like, wow, I lost 30 pounds, and I just did a treadmill. Okay, cool. Let's see what else we can do. When I started realizing like my body wasn't looking right because I was like looking big up here, but I had baby legs, and everybody was just like, dude, are you working out? I was like, I'm running. That's all I'm doing is running. It's like you need to do more like muscle techniques, weights and stuff like that. I was like, I can't do that.
We got
Nobody
to.
ever told me how.
Exactly. You just need to know how to start. And that's the whole premise of our whole business. The name of the business is Air 3, but it's AIR3. So the first part is activate, knowing how to start. A lot of people just don't know.
Yep.
All right, they get a gym membership and they are just overwhelmed by all the machines.
Yep.
And then when you go into a place like that, none of the trainers will really help you unless you're talking about
Money.
payment.
Yep.
Right? So that's where we have to sit down and talk about how do we get started. I lay all my cards on the table. This is what we do, and let them know we're in this together.
Yeah.
No one does this alone.
Right.
All right? And then we have the I, the inspiration. I try to provide the inspiration to other people and let them know what my story was. All right? When people want to ask, well, how did you get to this point? Well, you know what? I didn't start when I was 20 years old.
Yeah.
I didn't get serious till I was well into my 40s. Okay? And my aha moment about being a personal trainer and helping people happened when right around the time I had hip replacement. I had hip replacement at age 51. All right? And they go, oh, you don't look at the person who has hip replacement. I don't know what the person who has hip replacement is supposed to look like, but I was a guy limping around in the gym with a bad hip, trying to get it done and trying to get fit and asking a lot of questions. And that was back in 2013. After that, I got certified, and then I was trying to just help as many people and educate as many people, but I just became that person. I wanted to inspire people to be the best version of themselves. And then we have people who fall into that last category of restoration, being able to restore. They were at a good place once upon a time, and then life happened.
Yep.
Not everybody has a story where they start young and then the obesity kicked in and all the life things kicked in. Some people were at a good place, and then they had that life thing happen to them and fell off.
Yeah.
Gained 20, 30, 50 pounds, whatever the story is. We can show you exactly how to restore.
Right.
You can get back to that person. So whatever your story is, we think we can accommodate it. But that's the physical, that's the body part.
Yeah.
My wife handles the mind and the soul part because it's a journey she actually walked. That's a part I can't really speak to.
Right.
But with her story, having lost her highest weight, if I can tell, was Oh yeah, at her highest weight she was 352. Okay, and she's gotten down to the 170s. So and that's happened over time, and she'll tell you. I'm gonna let her tell the story of what the roller coaster was like during that journey. So we all need help.
Yeah.
We all need some assistance, and we all just got to be able to say, hey, let's check our egos.
Right.
And I try to make people understand that when you're with and you hook up with us, with Air 3, it's a judgment-free zone.
Yeah.
Whatever your story is, it is.
Yeah.
And you got to know that that's going to be the makings of a real big story once you transform. But you just got to be willing to do the work. Get with us, ask the questions. I'm more concerned when I don't hear from my clients.
Sure.
Okay, if you got a story and you're trying to transform and I'm not hearing from you, there's a problem.
Yeah.
I need to hear from you, I can't chase your dream for you.
Right.
And I certainly can't do it without you.
Right.
So we can do this together, but I need to hear from you. Now, we all got life things.
Yeah.
We all got them.
Yeah.
We all got them. But we got to be able to prioritize what's important.
Exactly.
It comes a priority. When your health is not a priority, all those other things you want to do,
Right.
or as we say down here, we fitting to do, all right, they're not going to come true until you get good health.
Right.
And you get stable with your health. We as people have to stop holding on to diabetes and high blood pressure and high cholesterol, all those maladies, all those chronic diseases like it's something worth having.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you it's not. We got to understand that the answer is not in medication. Not through your doctor anyway.
Right.
We like to think that food is the medication.
Right.
We need to get you off of some of these things and substitute some of these other things. We became plant-based January of last year, 2019. Okay, we did a cleanse, and then lost some good weight, and said, you know, we don't want to put this back on. And then by the grace of God, we met a friend of ours who had our own vegan business, vegan food, providing food. All right, we tried some of her food for about a week, and we were sold. And then we saw we could do this instead of that, and the food tastes good. And you know what? The food's got to taste good for this to work.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
the food has to taste good.
Yes.
We knew that and then we just got educated. We
Yeah.
just continued to get educated because we get asked questions, and then we went to a few events, and then we heard people speak, and then of course we use social media, and there are tons of groups out there that show that are based on plant-based eating, plant-based nutrition, and the more we knew, the more we wanted to know, and the more we wanted to share with others. People have to know that the answer is in your food.
Right.
That's where 80% of your nutrition, and essentially 80% of your transformation is in the nutrition, the things you put in your mouth.
Yeah.
All right. We talked earlier about water. Important. You got to get our water in.
I just recently started drinking back water,
Good. I mean, and that's good.
and I haven't had soda in 3 months.
And that's I can't tell you how big that is, because I mean that's a big thing. That is a big thing.
And I love
Because
Pepsi.
we are people who gravitate towards soft drinks, you know, and it's loaded with a whole bunch of sugar that's not going to help us, and the chemicals. All right, it ain't just that white table sugar that you're used to seeing. All right, so we got into a habit with this whole journey of flipping the bottle over, flipping the can over, flipping the bag over, and seeing what's in it.
Yeah.
Now we gained an education about it. My wife just completed. I'm gonna brag on her a little bit. She just completed her plant-based nutrition certificate
Yay.
about a week or so, 2 weeks ago. Right. I'm still working on mine. I should have mine in another month or so at best. But these are the type of things we put out into the atmosphere. Right. We don't even, and we're not trying to down or out anybody or put anybody down, but we don't talk too much in terms of the standard American diet or the Western diet, because there's so much in it that does not serve people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And think about it now. We're talking about you know, that whole typical of meat, your starch, your vegetable, and we're talking about dairy. We're talking about a whole lot of things that are not serving you, and this is part of the reason. And then all the processed sugar, part of the reason for that, why we have so much childhood obesity, why that is such a thing now, is all the garbage that these people eat, the fast food. And I understand where it comes from, because we live in a society where everything happens so fast. And I always think that what contributes to that is that with you have households where both parents are working, a traditional job, everybody's on the run. So there's no time to make a traditional breakfast.
Right.
All right. Or if it's a single parent household, not even harder now. Now everything we grabbing on the go. And there's a reason why they call it fast food. Okay. Call it fast food because it's there, it's easy, it's cheap, but you pay with it. You pay for it with your health.
Life.
With your life and your health. I mean, think about all the people in your family who you have heard have said, who you might have lost to diabetes. High blood pressure. Okay, you don't necessarily die from those things. It's all the things that go under. Diabetes is the umbrella. All the things that come about, the high cholesterol, you know, all the cancers, all those things are catapulted and elevated by.
But wouldn't you say that it's also too like your mindset and like a lot of things that you carry mentally and spiritually affects that as well?
Oh, absolutely.
So if you're already not eating right and you're also under a lot of stress, you're not sleeping, you're not communicating that you're stressed, you're not having healthy conversations with the people that you love, you know what I mean? I feel like that makes it even worse, and that's what leads to the chronic illness. Contributes to
it
chronic
definitely
illness.
contributes to that, because but we also talk about the mindset. We talk about how we find out what your mindset is and how we have to adjust your mindset. That's why it's important that we have those initial conversations. Whenever I come across a potential client, we give them an assessment. A written assessment takes over 20 minutes to fill out. And basically it's name, rank, and serial number.
Yeah.
But not just that. We also talk about no judgment. What are you eating now? What are you open to eating?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you open to eating? What's your level of activity now? And also, what's your medical history? All right, we need to know if you've had some surgeries that may hinder you from working out. Do you have a bad shoulder, knee, chronic issues, chronic pains? All right, because we can talk about how to put together a workout program to work around those things.
Right.
And we can also talk about the type of foods that you may be eating that contributes to the inflammation in your knee,
Right.
in your shoulder, in your elbow. And we've gotten to a point where people have become comfortable with being in pain.
Yeah.
All right. When you hear people talk about, oh, my knee is bad, or my knee and shoulders, those are things. Those are
That's all I talk about.
right. Those are real things that people have, and it's not just older people. All right.
And I'm not old at all.
Right. It's not just older people.
Right.
You know, it's people who are maybe extremely overweight or morbidly obese, and they've gotten to a point where to limp around is normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even worse, it's acceptable.
Yeah.
No, not in my vocabulary.
Getting to what you were saying, Shanti, that's the part that I focus on.
Yeah.
And so you're right. It starts with the change of your mindset. Transformation is transformation.
Yeah.
You know, we're focusing a lot of our conversation on weight loss, but transformation could be something with education. It could be anything you want to transform where you're here and you want to be here. And no matter what you're transforming, it starts with a change mindset.
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You cannot skip the inside stuff.
Yeah.
You
I
cannot
was just sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
cut
it's
you off,
okay.
but when you was talking, like I get the working out part, but I was trying to connect it to because I'm about to start nursing school, so I definitely got to have a change of mindset with the study, and I was just talking to Shanti about
Yep.
that.
You
So
can't
it's
skip.
like,
Right.
It won't work.
Yeah.
Alex can give you, let's say weight loss is what you want, or you want to get fit or whatever. He can give you all of the lists of things you should eat and what you should do in the gym and how often you should. But if you're not ready,
Yeah.
it won't work.
Emotionally,
And we've seen
mentally,
it. We've
right.
seen it not work with people a lot because they're that second yes is the hard yes to get. So yes, everybody's excited. Yes, I want to start nursing school.
Right.
The second yes to letting go of these things, and sometimes those things are people.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Reorganizing your time.
Right.
There's really no such thing as life balance, but there's life management. And so
I was like, yo, you need to like make sure that's an echo when they play that back, like that they hear that as an echo.
there's really no such thing as life balance. There's too much to hold on at once. So there's no such thing as life balance, but it's life management. It's what you do with all the things that we all have to juggle. So when you're in nursing school, which is one of the most strenuous programs you can pursue, it's going to require life management. But it's changing your mindset, and then it's accepting help. Shanta, you mentioned, that you desired help, you reached out, but then were a little hesitant. Try to do it on your own. One thing Alex says all the time: no one does it alone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Period. So you've got to change your mindset. You've got to, reach out for help, and almost think of it like a branch, because I always talk about butterflies. So a caterpillar starts down here, low. Whatever your low is might be your bottom, and can't even really look up, but has to believe, and has to believe sometimes it's someone in your ear saying you can do it, or you have the ability, let you know it's in you. You might not even believe it yet. So it's a certain amount of blind
Telling my
trust
story right now.
to hold on and not really know where you're going.
Yeah.
Because we've seen butterflies, but a caterpillar has never been high enough to see a butterfly.
Yeah.
So they have to trust, because we're saying you're going to be able to soar one day.
Yeah.
And so now you start your climb up the branch. Eventually you're going to be in a cocoon.
Yeah.
That's alone.
That's
the
yeah,
grit.
isolation.
That's
Yeah.
where you have to do the work.
That's the work,
Yeah.
right?
You have
Yeah.
you have to do that work. You have support, you have guidance, but at some point you have to do the work.
Yeah.
For me, it was not eating certain things. It was going to the gym when I didn't feel like it. Sometimes it was going to the gym at 5 a.m. and then again at 8 p.m. on the same day, working in between and all that stuff. For nursing school, it's going to be, saying no to friends sometimes, saying no to family sometimes, because you have to study.
right.
And then study some more.
Priorities.
And then study some more. And
Priorities,
you might take your exam, you're really sleepy, but that's the grit.
Yeah.
And no one can do that for you. And as a matter of fact, with when caterpillars are transforming to butterflies, if it's starting to come out of the cocoon after doing the work, and you see it starting to form, it's better if you don't help it.
Right.
If you help it out, it'll become a butterfly, but it'll never be able to soar on its
Mm-hmm.
own. So you got to keep going, and you got to, get to that edge. Then you got to jump off, and you got to fly, and you got to. And y'all were talking about maintenance with weight loss, but that's a quick description of what transformation is.
Yeah.
But it starts with the inside. My journey, my weight loss journey, start with the inside. I got help. I had a life coach. I had a counselor. I paid.
Yeah.
So I took my
Listen,
resources.
if your life coach don't have a life coach, or your counselor doesn't have a counselor, you need a new counselor, or you need a new life coach. I'm
Right.
sorry.
Thought process.
I still go to a life coach.
Yeah.
It still helps me, and sometimes it's deep, heavy, personal stuff. A lot of times it's like entrepreneur stuff I'm doing,
Yeah.
and I want to bounce it off with someone who has the time to listen objectively. And so it's this. I think in our community,
Yeah.
it's so much stigma around asking for help, admitting that we need help, accepting help, keeping the help. It's almost like just go talk to the pastor.
I was gonna touch on that. I wanted to touch on that
I feel like I
briefly.
need to go ahead, touch it, because I'm about to touch everything. Right?
Hey, you wash your hands?
Yes, of course.
I mean, don't touch everything.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Please. But yeah, like there's an increasing rate of depression in the Black community.
Mental health is a real
And
thing.
I mean, like, for the longest time, like, we all have that family member that everybody's like, oh, they just crazy. You know what I mean? Or they just a little bit slow, you know?
It's a real thing now.
But it's
a real thing.
it's a real thing. And there aren't enough people like you in our community to be able to speak to the Black situation. So in the Black community, there's an ever increasing rate of depression, and not enough people to help us navigate through those tough times. It's been, oh, I got it, I'm gonna be good, I got some stuff going on, but I'm fine. And you're really not, you know what I mean? So not only is there that side of, there's not enough people that look like us in the mental health profession, but there's also that stigma of going to the doctor, of needing help. Like, we are still stuck back in that period of, oh, you see a counselor? What's wrong with you? You know? And it's like, no, it's nothing wrong with me. The fact that I'm recognizing that I need help makes everything right for me. You know what I mean? Because when I recognize that I need help, that means I'm already on the right path. If I'm constantly in denial, like, oh no, I don't need the help, but I'm steady struggling, I'm always under stress, I'm never myself when I'm around the people I love, you need help. And it's okay to say that, you know?
Well, I was just gonna piggyback off what you were saying, Shanti. I'm a student myself, and it's not a lot of college students that want to go get help, and when they want to, it's not a lot of people there to actually help them, or we don't actually recognize like who's there to help them. So to be like, okay, well, I'm here to help you, or this, like, it's not a lot of, I guess, opportunity. Yeah. Especially for where I'm from, very small town, Fort Valley, Georgia. So it's just like sometimes people want to get help, but they just don't know who to go to or where to go. So, yeah.
And it wasn't modeled for us.
No.
Most of us come from backgrounds where people didn't go get help from a third party.
Most stuff was so secretive.
But we see people cope in really unhealthy ways.
But take a step back, even with health. We as people don't like to go to the doctor.
No.
People may have a physical, a mental challenge is one thing. That's big. But when we have a physical challenge, we don't like to go just
but
as much. But
can you blame us though?
Right, exactly. Because it's not, like you said,
that.
it's not geared for us as a rule. It wasn't always geared for us. We're not supposed to kind of be here. And for people who need it, those people need help, but that's them.
Right.
They're not part of us.
But even when it is us, if you find a doctor that looks like you, like, Do he really know he doing? Let me go to the white
Actually,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and just throw it out there because I have been going through the depression. That's part of my medication.
Okay.
Yeah, that's part of that. I'll go ahead and say it on here.
Yeah,
I
let's talk
had
about it.
problems
Sure.
of
Nothing to
killing
shame.
myself and stuff like that. I had big issues with it. Still fighting through it, but
It's a daily process.
I told myself, bro, you need to go get help.
You gotta help.
I said it to myself,
And the first
and then
thing-
nobody else was just like, "Bro, you need to go talk to somebody." It wasn't even him, and that's my brother. I was like, "Nah, I got to do this." Like, no. I told myself I'm gonna get help. I sat down in front of my counselor, and she's like, "You look like you don't want to be here." I said, "Cause I don't." But it's I'm either gonna fix myself or I'm gonna kill myself.
You're not gonna see me here no more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm trying my best just to see 38, and this is still recent,
Okay.
and I just turned 38.
Okay.
So
Milestone.
yeah,
Good for you,
and
man.
it's still a struggle with the weight loss and stuff like that. Because a lot of people just like, well, you're not eating. I'm like, I am eating. Because trust me, if I wasn't eating, I'll be on the floor. I'm eating. It's just that certain things that I eat is like we were eating pizza. I ate like one slice. I was ready to throw up.
Transformation starting to happen.
And
So
yeah,
your palate has changed.
Certain things I just
And the
can't
things that you know, maybe there was a time when you were eating 3 or 4 slices, you know.
try like a whole pizza.
Okay, well, there you go.
Some people try to make you feel bad because, like, I like to eat salads. And let's say you go out to eat,
That's
and
all
they be
I eat
like,
sometimes.
what you getting? I'm like, I think I'm going to get a salad. They be like, a salad? You going to get a
But
salad?
that's the relationship that unfortunately people have with food. And that's what we try to work on. The relationship that people have with food, especially when they're extremely overweight or morbidly obese, is the mindset. The relationship you have with food needs to be addressed, and it doesn't get fixed in one night. Just telling somebody, hey, well, just eat this.
Yeah.
When they're already way to the left with their eating, we got to work on some
Which
things.
is why gastric bypass patients have a hard time because they've been eating for this way wrong, and then they think they're gonna get a quick fix by getting the
not
sleeves or
solution.
They haven't done the inside work.
Right.
That's
So
not
now,
inside.
when you get cut and you come out, you still at the same place mentally.
Right.
because
Right.
you didn't do those
you didn't
cuts.
do right. You didn't do those cuts. You didn't make those adjustments.
Right.
I have to eat this, and instead of that, I have to make some changes because if you don't, then you're gonna be right back to the same weight, if not worse.
Right.
Exactly.
So is it safe to say that if you are looking to make a transformation physically, you also have to expect that you have to do some work mentally and spiritually?
Throughout the process, from
Throughout
start
the
to finish, it
process.
doesn't stop.
It will not work.
Right.
Right.
We're hearing about doing the inside work
Yes.
and then seeing results. When you see people who changed drastically in some way, whether it's again weight loss or something else, if it sticks and their tastes and interests are starting to change, they probably worked on the inside.
Yeah. Okay.
Or are working on the
No doubt
inside.
about
it.
We're always working on the inside. But
You
yeah.
talked about too, like having a spouse that one person is going through the journey and the other person isn't. Like, how do you find that balance and that support? Because I find that sometimes when people go through like extreme weight loss, that person that went through that extreme weight loss, like you said, has changed so much mentally and spiritually. They're not even the same person anymore.
They're not.
And so the other spouse feels left out. They feel left behind. They feel like this is not the person I'm married or the person that I started this relationship out with. You know,
Absolutely.
How do
And-
you balance
And
that?
I'm not telling you to sit here and question who you married.
Right.
But the person's going to grow.
Yeah.
And forget fitness and any kind of change. If you take on somebody else, you want to be able to grab hold of that person's hand, physically and emotionally, and be able to grow together.
Right.
That's why I try to tell people, when I try to find out, I get into your business. Meaning your spouse. Are you preparing your own food? Oh, there's a wife or there's a husband. Are they going to be on board with this? Because the things are about to change. Now, you don't want to have to cook your food and then have to be able to cook food for the kids and the spouse. That dynamic has to be worked out. Y'all have to talk that through.
Yeah.
Y'all have
You get
to,
a little threatened.
yes, absolutely. They get very threatened when somebody's moving on without them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I've had clients before where we started out good, all of a sudden they stopped coming. Why? Because the other person wasn't on board. One car And now when it's time for him or her to come see me, they can't make it because the spouse has the vehicle intentionally to kind of sabotage your growth.
Yeah.
All right? And like I said, that's just, I mean, not just, but it's fitness and health.
Yeah.
I'm of the belief that if you don't have that, those other things are not going to come to you. You're not going to be blessed.
Yeah.
But when you have a person who's on a different level, and that's supposed to be your ace, person you with, thick and thin, and they're not on board, there's some other things that get revealed about the situation that you're in. That, and like I said, I've been married all of 4 months. By no means do I have it. By no means do I have it all figured out. I'm still learning. She asked me a couple questions the other day. I mean, I had to go through a major transformation when I got married, and I'm still learning, But what happens when you have that type of situation where it's kind of somebody's on board, the other person's not on? It can become very toxic.
Yeah.
It can be, and it's going to sabotage your growth. And forget fitness. It could be, like you said, if you had a spouse who wasn't on board with your going to nursing school. Come on.
I've seen, as an educator, I've seen that.
Right.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
These are the type of things that can really sabotage your growth. And then comes the challenges, the depression. You're not being able to step into the best version of yourself.
Right.
In whatever field or whatever you're trying to accomplish, and then comes the depression and the challenges. And now, I'm not a doctor, but we can see how depression can kick in
real quick.
Right.
Real
if
quick.
you're not in a good space, and then you don't have anybody, like we talked about earlier, we don't have anybody you can turn to talk these things through, and then you stay in that vicious cycle.
Right.
And the type of behaviors that got you there get manifested, get multiplied, they get worse because you don't have an outlet. And what's worse, you don't have an outlet. The outlet that you were looking for, your significant other, is not on board.
Right. And that's a hard thing to deal with when you're going through transformation. When you look around and you realize the people that I thought were going to be here for me during this transformation are not always going to be there. And you have to look for that support elsewhere. It's kind of... it throws you into a whole nother situation. You know what I mean? Like, I was at that place and I was literally screaming to my family, I need help. I want you to help me. I need you to help me. Please help me. Somebody help me. Anybody help me. Please help me. Oh my God. You know what I mean? Like,
they don't get it the same way they don't get it. Right.
I'm like, what do I have to do? Do I have to slit my wrist for somebody
and
to,
unfortunately, it has come to that for some people. Some people, because they can't cope. They have no way of coping.
Right.
So it's really, this mental health thing, it really is a thing.
Yeah, there's another way to think about that too, though. So if you're crying out for help, maybe, first of all, maybe you are supposed to be alone a little bit. And I talked about that cocoon stage. So maybe you're supposed to really feel it, whatever it is. But maybe whoever shows up is who's supposed to show up. That might not be who you're crying out to. So that might not be who you need. Sometimes our families can be
non-equipped.
Exactly who we don't need.
Right.
And I don't mean that it doesn't
in a bad way,
but it's
a reality.
Sometimes your families could be codependent with you because they've been with that old version of you, and that's what they're used to. That's what they're comfortable with. So they're going to support that. So this new nursing student, or new person who's like 200 pounds lighter than what they're used to, it feels unfamiliar. And unfamiliar feels uncomfortable.
We get a lot of that.
There's
in the fitness game.
I wanted to speak to something that you asked about too. When you have two people, whether it's a couple or friends or whatever, and one person drastically changes, then it can. I keep looking at you because what's your name again? Jordan. We mentioned school. I've seen it with school. I've seen it with weight loss. Sometimes the person who has transformed can have a lot of lingering things they're still trying to figure out. Because like if it's weight loss, your body could change faster than your mind changes. And you've heard people say that they lose weight, but then they still see that big person when they look in the mirror. But you might still have your old insecurities, or some of them, or there could be triggers. So you just got to keep doing your work, and it'll catch up. Likewise, if you are the first one. I was the first one in my family to go to college, so sometimes when you're the first anything, you're so different than
Mm-hmm.
everybody else, and
judged.
your earning potential is going to change. You know, what you drive might change.
Yeah.
Where you live might change. You know, all these, you're going to be different potentially, and you might keep adding degrees. And so,
And don't be mad and don't be upset or feel that you have to pull back because you're growing.
right. So it's growth still can be challenging.
So growth will kind of make you feel like Tarzan. You just want to get swinging on the vine or something like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, to grow and to get to those goals that you want, I always tell people, and I'm putting on a t-shirt, you have to be comfortable with becoming uncomfortable.
Right.
Thank you. You have to be comfortable with that. You have to you have to be comfortable being in that uncomfortable space.
Yes.
Especially when it comes to weight loss. All right? Or advanced education. All right? Because like she said, there's some people you're going to have to leave behind.
Exactly.
Love you, but I'm going this way.
Yeah.
You're not a value add on, say this to people, if you're not the value add as I'm going this goal and you're trying to pull me back, I have to leave you there. All right? I have to leave you there because my hope is at some point you'll get it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
See, but what I can't do is move forward, looking back, dragging you, because you're holding me back. You're holding my progress. I have a timetable. See?
Ooh, get a timetable, people, please.
I mean, anything you do or you want to accomplish, we always talk about what we call SMART goals, all right? It's got to be specific. It's got to be measurable. It's got to be something that's attainable. It's got to be realistic, and it's got to have a time to it.
Yeah.
SMART.
She knows.
I was looking at Shanti.
It's got to have a timetable to it. All right, saying that, okay. I mean, I just use my area of expertise. I want to lose weight. What's that number?
Yeah.
And maybe it's not weight. For women, it's getting down to a dress size.
Yeah.
All right. For men, maybe it's a waist size. Maybe it's a certain suit that's a certain size that you want to get down to. All right. For some people, it's got nothing to do with, I want to get off the medications. All right, because we turn to medications for too many things.
Too many things.
All right, and we it doesn't fix anything. Okay, what it does is mask a problem, maybe stabilize the problem. It don't get to the root of the problem.
It don't make it go away.
It doesn't make it go away.
Nope.
So in the business that we're in, we treat food as a medicine. All right, you eat the right foods to a point where your body does what it's supposed to do on its own without the assistance of a pill.
Right.
Or you having to put something in a cup and throwing it down before you go to bed, whatever it may be. And I'm not knocking the medical profession. They're doing what they're trained to do. But what they're not trained to do is teach you about nutrition.
Right.
Anytime you go into a doctor's office and they tell you, all right, you're 60 pounds overweight. You need to lose weight. You can talk to 10 doctors, and 9 of them will not send you down the hall to a nutritionist and tell you how you can go about that.
Right.
Or they just put something in your hand. Even though, do that.
Yep.
No explanation. No breakdown.
Nothing.
No.
You're on your own.
Right.
See you next year for your next physical.
If you come.
If you come. Right. If you make it. Or if you come, because us and the doctor.
Right.
All right. So there's no guidance, and we like to provide that road for you.
Yeah.
With Air 3, where we can talk about how you're going to get there. We're going to get you activated. We're going to keep you inspired. We're going to help you restore if that's what you need to do. And I don't do this without my wife, because she does the transformation because she can speak to it.
Yeah.
All right? The ups and downs you can go through, you're going to go through. Let's understand. That's the uncomfortable part.
Yep.
Right.
That's the uncomfortable part. You're going to have to do a lot of the dirty work. You're going to spend some time as that caterpillar. You're going to peek your head out. But like you said, you're not going to do it totally alone. But what I will not do and we will not do is pull you.
Yeah.
You're going to have to come to willing to work and do a lot of this stuff willingly, no matter how uncomfortable it is.
Yes.
Because sometimes it means, like she said earlier, that means getting up 5 o'clock in the morning to work out, because that's the only time you have to work out.
Yeah.
It's your time.
That's your time. You got to claim it.
Yeah.
All right? Sometimes it's going to the gym at 8 o'clock in the evening, because that's your time that you have to allow. But what you can't do is dismiss it, because if it's a goal and there's a number to it, I always tell people, your goals are waiting on you.
Yeah.
Goals waiting on. What are you doing to move toward?
Right.
Yeah.
Can I talk about time?
Yes, please.
So, this idea of balance is on my mind a lot, because I just led a workshop about it, and we as a people, we take on so much, and most of us were raised by people who took on so much, and everybody else is everything, and in the workshop I led, it was about this whole life balance, life management thing, because there's no such thing as life balance. And I had a volunteer come up and hold a bunch of boxes. And on the boxes I'd written a lot of the life things that we deal with, some good, some challenging. And I had people just come and keep adding boxes. Yeah. And it was a woman, and she was holding the boxes, and it got to the point where the boxes were so high that you couldn't see her anymore.
Oh my gosh.
Which was a powerful moment. Yeah. And she couldn't move. So she couldn't help herself, she couldn't help anybody else, and she was lost. You think she ever asked for help?
Nope.
You think boxes fell? We'll put it back on.
Yep.
And that's what we do. It really hit me. I mean, I planned the workshop, but when I saw it happening, it really, we take on too much, and we don't put ourselves first, and we're raised to think that we shouldn't be selfish. Selfish is a good word. It just means you care about yourself enough to do for yourself.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't be, and Yana Van Zandt has a quote. She said, you have to pour into yourself first, and I'm going to talk to you, and then you pour, and then you give to others from the overflow.
Yeah.
If you're frozen with taking on everybody else's burdens, just because someone needs to talk doesn't mean you have to pick up the phone.
Right.
It doesn't mean you have to be this mean. It doesn't mean you're mean. Maybe you only slept 4 hours. Maybe you need sleep.
And that's why he laughs.
But I mean, how often do we say yes to everybody else for everything?
Too much, too often.
And we're raised seeing people cook at 4 a.m. because they gotta cook for this and that, and it's like, no, you don't. You don't have to do anything.
At some point, you have to be able to draw that line.
And you have to let things go and
let
not
things go,
be so
right.
perfect. I mean, one of my friends, when she was in grad school, she was joking, but she didn't feel guilty. She fed her kids like donuts for dinner one night.
Oh my God.
And see, but that's the reaction. Like, oh my God, donut. That's the best she could do that day.
Yeah.
I mean,
She had dinner. Right.
Her kids are alive.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Yeah.
You know, that was her best.
All
that
she
day.
had.
Yeah.
And but we are quick to judge ourselves and beat ourselves up, and so I just wanted to speak to that, and maybe people want to respond to that, because I think that's killing us.
Absolutely. I feel like especially black women, I feel like we take on so much.
Super women.
We take on so much selflessly, and to what end? You know what I mean? Like,
To our detriment.
To our detriment. Still, there's things that ail us to this day that we don't even know what's the root cause of it. Fibroids. You know what I mean? I had that. They don't even know what causes fibroids, but I know.
Here they go.
But I know if we put some things down and put it to the side and say, hey, you can handle this on your own. I'm gonna go figure out what's going on with me. We are more than capable of figuring out what is going on with ourselves to be able to help ourselves and help cure ourselves. And so with that being said, I just want to just charge us black women as a whole to take better care of ourselves.
Yep.
And I want to charge all black men to ask for help.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
What it
like,
is. I mean, don't wait for the challenge. I mean, we have this thing we like to wait till it turns into an out and out sickness.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't move.
Yeah.
Before we go to the doctor. So, guys, I talk to you all the time. Get your annual checkups.
For real.
If you, I mean, we cry and we holler and talk about now you got health benefits. Are you utilizing them?
Yeah.
Okay. Will you go to the doctor and get those uncomfortable tests done?
Yeah.
Okay. Get your prostate checked. Do all of those things. You know, that's a few minutes of uncomfortable.
That's the only thing I'm scared of. That's like the only
Then you need.
I'm not gonna lie. It's like the only thing I'm scared of. I'm gonna get there. Yeah. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there.
You need, and there's got to be a time frame to that too. Like
it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, and I just
that has to be real.
That's like the only thing I'm like.
Yeah.
Like
Get over it. I'm telling you, get over it. Go ahead and do what you do. I mean, but not just that. I mean, like I said, when we're not feeling right, we let it go on too long until it becomes an out and out sickness.
Yeah.
All right, it becomes a thing where you
And
can't
irreversible.
function. Right, and it could have been something that you could have handled had you just taken some time off to just go get it checked out. We got the medical benefits. I'm not saying they're cheap. That's another subject for another day. But if you have something, make use of it. You pay into it all the time. If you have one of those 9 to 5, you pay into it, utilize it. Like I said, can't speak to women. I've never been one. But from a man's perspective, we need to,
yes, definitely
check your ego at the door and get this thing checked. Get these things done.
That needs to be another
just check your ego.
There it is. right there.
Right? Because we're talking about, your health. You ain't going to be around for the rest of us.
No.
If you're not, taking care of yourself.
And that's the whole thing for me in 2020. Because, I told myself, I was like, man, I want to know what I look like. We said that. We said, we've always been big. I'm like, man, what would we look like if we were skinny?
Well,
if we were small, if we had 6 pack.
We talked about it. Get that goal, whatever. And my wife has a vision board. Okay? If it takes that, if it takes a vision board, then, hey, get pictures of how you would like to. Who's that guy who you want to emulate?
Apollo Creed.
Okay? For me, and a fictitious character, but I know what you're talking about. Because this not said for the women, but for the men, I understand where you're coming from because that's the testosterone. That's the man thing in seeing Rocky and understanding what it takes to work out.
I always wanted to be that, the cut.
For me, it was a brother named Obi Obadike, all right? A fitness trainer, black guy. I saw him, black, bald, smiling. I said, I want to be him. It was his program that I got that I went ahead and bought the fitness piece, didn't get the nutrition piece. Right. All right? And after I developed a little dialogue with him, and he's a very approachable guy, very nice. He said, Al, you got to get the nutrition. But when I got the nutrition piece and started working on those type of things, then I started to see change. And then I became that guy at the gym, limping around with the bad hip, who was always working out, And I always took pride in being that guy who I used to shock them with my age. I'm just telling you this. It's not me just telling you what I can do. I'm telling you what all of you folks, all you men out there who can do. It is doable if you're willing to commit to the process. And take fitness out of it. Got to commit to something. All right? Stay consistent with it. Get a process going and ask for help. And then when you add the commitment to the consistency, you develop a discipline for doing what you do. And when you get a discipline in place, no one can take you off of your path. Right? Because now you locked in. Now you pushing things aside because, how many times have I turned down happy hour because I knew I had to go home and work out? Right? See, you talk about sitting there and drinking and scarfing down a whole lot of bad food. I'm talking about going home and getting sweaty and working out and doing the things I know I need to do because I got a goal. All right? And when people ask you, how did you get there? Tell them the story.
I want to show them.
And you know what?
Yeah.
Fine.
Satisfying.
Yes. But on that journey, on that journey, share it with some people. It's very important that people understand what it takes to get this done. I mean, people say, I want to do what you're doing. Hey, this is what I did. All right? Bring some people on. Don't drag them.
I'm not now.
Right? Don't drag them. But share with them. And then, hey, you can walk away. Hey, I gave you the information. What you do with it,
it's up to you.
It's on you.
Well, see, I'm glad I got your information because they gonna see me with
when you ready,
and they gonna see the transformation.
Well, see, what I like about your situation is that you've already done a lot. You're still working on the internal work.
Yes.
All right. You're still working on the internal stuff. All right. And that's candid and that's real. All right. But when we do work together, the journey is gonna be a little different. But it's going to be a lot more manageable because you've already taken care of some of the stuff. Yes. You've already addressed some of the stuff.
Well, I look at it like this. This to me is another video game that I'm putting into my life, and I'm ready for the first level.
Right.
I like
Boom.
that. I like that.
Activation.
What's neat about your story is it's even though it's painful and it's powerful. Yeah. And you've made a tremendous progress, and it's going to help somebody else.
Absolutely.
When you go through things like this, it's not just for you, at all. You don't even know now how many people are noticing,
absolutely,
and inspired, and by you sharing the rest of it, because they see the outside. Yeah. But you're sharing some of the inside tonight too. There are people who are where you were,
right,
mentally.
Right, absolutely. You never know who's watching.
You never know what
who's listening.
Decision they might, be changing.
Based on what you've shared. Based on what you've shared. Absolutely.
Or whenever this is, posted. But your story is powerful, and it's going to impact a lot of other people.
I hope so.
That's what I mean when I say people need to hear it. All right.
So it's
Not just the
purpose
good,
behind it.
not just comfortable, but the uncomfortable.
I got very, very uncomfortable with a lot of stuff, and I was sitting in the car and I was like, nah, I'm not ready for this. I don't want to do this because I was worried about everybody else looking at me, and I was just like.
And what we say at the
it's
gym,
like, David, you either gonna do this
No,
or keep complaining about
right.
it. What you gonna do?
Right.
So it's like I got in there, and there was a lot of times I was like, man, I'm about to throw up. And he looked at me. He's like, if you got to throw up, but you're not stopping.
They're stopping, right?
And I'm like, huh? Like, no, that's my excuse to stop.
No.
And when I threw up, he was like, all right, let's go.
Let's go. Right. There's still work to be done. The goal ain't changed.
He's like, go rinse your mouth out. You
Right.
want some gum?
Whatever
I need
you
some
do.
gum. And I
What
was
you
like,
need to do.
all right. And I kept going and going and going. That's when it was just like, dude, you just had to get past that.
Yep.
There's
After
gonna be
that,
something
it was
else.
Like, it was like hammering in there,
Right.
hammering in there, and it was.
Right.
Just, I was lifting tires. It was just like, bruh, a week ago you was struggling. Look at you now.
Right.
And I mean, I was just doing things that normally took me 30 minutes.
Yep.
It was
Right.
taking me in my normal time
Struggle.
frame, and it was gone.
Right.
And like now, I can plank for a minute, and I'm excited about that.
Those are that's progress.
I'm excited about that.
Those
I couldn't
kind of
even plank 30
victories.
seconds.
That's hard. Yeah.
Those
Right.
kind of victories are meaningful. They're very, very meaningful. And like I said, you sharing that, those are meaningful, and it's going to switch somebody from here to just here. I mean, just a little change, which makes a big difference because you don't know what people are on the verge of.
There's a woman, a young woman who was 30, early 30s. I didn't even know she was paying attention to what I was doing. And she's lost 100 pounds on her own, and she keeps telling me, it's because of what I saw you do. It's because of what I didn't even know she was noticing. That you don't know who they
Never know
you
who's
don't
watching.
That's
who's
true.
watching you. And what's really neat about transformation and getting well, and you talked about that sort of whole body spirit, that kind of being a theme. Once you start one area of your life, and you build that confidence and know that you're capable of change, whether it's going to school and finishing, whether it's pursuing a personal fitness goal and finishing, it's like you're a rock star. Like
I feel that.
you apply that same. It's like a trait you have now, and you can apply that same treatment to another area of your life. And like the business that I've started, I don't think I would have had the mindset to start that because I do motivational speaking and things like that. I don't think I would have believed I could do it because there's a certain amount of I don't know where this is going. Do I even know what I'm doing? But with my weight loss journey, it's like I can do stuff.
Yeah.
I can finish things. I can
That's
do things that are hard or scary.
Right.
And
Yes.
and school. I mean, like I said, I'm the first one in my family to go to college and completed a PhD. But it was I had people nudging me and helping me and telling me they believed in me and that I could, and just learning to finish things. The key to success is just figuring out how to not give up.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell you, and just to piggyback on what you just said, finishing. Finishing. We got to finish things. I mean, say you want a goal, it's okay to want a goal and work toward it, but understand it's going to be rough, but it's more important that you finish.
Yes.
You gotta cross the finish line. And so not everything, and depending on what the goal is, it may not have a time frame. Alright? I mean, we all would love to be a millionaire within the next year.
Facts.
Okay, alright?
Facts.
But if it took you 10 years, would you take it?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's
All right. You're gonna go
Exactly.
right. You gotta go whatever road you have to be on to get to the goal. Go ahead, stay on that road, ask for help. And like I said, it's so important to finish. That's my big thing when it comes to fitness. I want to see people, especially people of color, finish. Because when you say it's hard, that's how you know things are starting to work.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If it's too easy, I question
You're not
what
doing
you.
it right.
I question what you're doing.
Yeah.
I start to question what it is that you're doing or how you going about this.
Right.
But finish. We talk about it all the time. I want some clients who are willing to finish.
I will be your first.
Start and finish. Let's cross the finish line because you will have learned so much in that process about what you're capable of. All right, like she said earlier, that is people are not going to recognize you. Certain people are going to want to know what it is you got, what's that magic that you got, and other people you're gonna have to just let go because they are not ready yet, and that's okay.
I'm ready. Yeah, we know that's another segment. Yo, it's your main man, David Strand, host of the CoCo Show podcast on the Mind, Body, and Spirit series. To be continued.
Thank you for listening to The CoCo Show. Check out other episodes on Spotify, iTunes, and Podbean. You can also listen to current episodes on freedomkradio.net. If you have a topic idea that you would like us to discuss on this platform, feel free to email us at 1tccshow@gmail.com. Again, that's 1tccshow@gmail.com. Please like and subscribe to The CoCo Show and share with all your friends. Thanks again for listening.